Yeah, shalom, shalom. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Grace and peace be unto the 12. Hopefully y'all can see me. My screen is acting up. Not sure why, but it's acting up. So I'm gonna have to see what's going on. Hey, if y'all can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. If you cannot hear me, I guess you ain't gonna be able to put anything in the chat because you can't hear me. But if you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. I need to see what's happening with the sound. Not understanding why this is acting crazy, but yeah. All right. I think the sound's coming through. Okay. I'll switch it over. Okay. Okay. All right. Hey, like I said, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Grace and peace be unto the 12. Let me go ahead and put a. Let me see, make sure I got all this set. Boom. All right. Sorry about that. Anyways, yeah, I see nobody's putting nobody. Hey, if y'all can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. I need to make sure that I can be heard. I kind of hear it on. I put it on the other browser and I could hear sound, but I'm not sure if everybody on here can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me, and you know what I'm saying. So if y'all can hear me, good. All right. So, anyways, let's go ahead and dive on into it. And if I can't be heard, then I guess I got a black screen on mine. I can't see anything. So yeah, it's just giving me trouble. It's crazy that I don't even know why it's doing this. One screen is showing me something, one screen's not. All right. Oh, there we go. All right, thank you. I don't know why that was doing that. Cool. All right. Now I can hear everything just fine. Now I need to get everything else up in here. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, we're getting slowed up, but we are getting back in. Now I need my banner in, and then everything else is good. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. All right. Anyways, let's go. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and go to everybody's glad to be here. Well, never mind. I ain't about to ask somebody to comment because we already went through that. Let's go to Matthew chapter 26, verse 6, and let's dive on into it. All right. We got held up for a second, but we good. Matthew chapter 26, verse 6. Now, when Jesus was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came into him a woman having an alabaster box of precious ointment. Sorry about that. Oh, no. All right. There came into him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? But this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Jesus understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this woman have done be told from memorial of her. So whenever we bring out the true gospel of Jesus Christ, the message is given to the 12 tribes of Israel scattered all over the globe. We are always going to remember the woman that put the ointment on the body of our Messiah, Jesus the Christ. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get to Psalm chapter 110, verse 1. We're going to go ahead and break into the understanding that the Messiah is in the Old Testament. By the way, I don't know who yeah, I ain't trying to say all that. Either way, what is this? This is read the banner. You see it on the bottom. I see the banner, the ticker, banner, whatever you want to call it. Read that across the bottom of the screen. It's gonna let you know. But we are showing everybody how Christ was on the earth. This is the series of the Gospels, and it's going into each chapter in the Gospels of the Scripture. So going through the Matthew series, then we'll go through Luke, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Yeah, there we go. So we're gonna touch on all those. I might end up going to Acts after all this is over with, because yeah, Acts is a great book too. But anyways, going through the Gospels. So back to it. Psalm chapter 110, verse 1. All right. The Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou at thy right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. The Lord shall send the rod out of the strength out of Zion. I'm sorry. The Lord shall send the rod of strength. Read that again. The Lord shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion. Rule thou in the midst of thine enemies. So he says, the Lord said to my Lord. So we know that David was sitting here saying, the Lord, there was a Lord over his Lord. The Lord over his Lord is the Most High God. So he said to Jesus Christ, hey, get on the right hand. And we understand that Jesus Christ sat on the right hand of God. So we see Jesus Christ in the Old Testament. And then he told him, hey, send this rod out of their strength. What is this going to be? The word, the correction, the direction of the Lord. And he's going to send that out. And he says, and rule among all those who are against you. Take over the world. That's what's going to help. He says, rule in the midst of your enemies. It means you're going to be in charge and you're going to be surrounded by people who, was not set out to be under you at first. And you're going to take over. It's not going to be a vote. It's not going to be by choice. It's going to be by force. Rule in the midst of your enemies. All praise be to the Most High God. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get to it. And by the way, if you heard the sound bite, put a 2 in the chat. If you can hear the sound coming through, you can hear the sound system, whatever that's called. Yeah, put a 2 in the chat. By the way, I see you in, Eulalia. See you in. Grace and peace be with you. Sarah, I see you here as well. Hey, and make sure y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe. As she said, make sure y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe. All right, so now let's go ahead and get to it. Matthew chapter 27. All right, Matthew chapter 27, verse 1. Let's get on into it. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. So everybody was desire, everybody's goal, what everybody wanted was to actually remove Christ from life, take the breath from his body. They hated him. This is what was going on with the Messiah. He's in the midst of his enemies, by the way, just like we just read, verse 2. And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders. So after that, he felt bad for what he had done. He was like, I can't believe it. I just now betrayed the Son of God. What am I doing? He couldn't believe he did it. He felt bad. So he went back and it said he saw he was condemned. So he also knew that it was over for him. But he went back and he felt bad about what he did. Verse 4, saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, what is it? What is that to us? See thou to that. They said, what is that to us? They said, oh, that money ain't mine. I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's yours. You earned it. You asked for it. You received it. Ask, you shall receive. You have it. Now you do what you want to do with your 30 pieces of silver that you used to betray Jesus Christ. Verse 5. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed and went and hanged himself. So after he realized what he done and he felt bad, he tried to give the money back and it couldn't. Hey, well, they was like, hey, nah, we ain't taking it back. It ain't no back, no take back. No, back, no trade back, no take backsies, none of that stuff. No, we gave it to you. It's yours. It's your money. You want it now. You keep it now. I don't got nothing to do with it. And do what you want to do with your money. It's yours. You earned it. So it says he cast it down and then he went and hanged himself. He removed himself from life. Why? Because he felt that there was no hope. There was no purpose. Here's the one thing I want to touch on too about being hopeless. Once people have lost all hope, they really don't care to go on because there's nothing to look forward to. There's no dream. There's no end for them. And once there's no end, then again, it's the point of living kind of goes away. It's departed. Why continue on when you don't believe in a better day, in a brighter future? There's nothing to come. So yeah, at that point you give up. So that's what happens. When the Spirit of God is gone, then what do you have left? You have the world. The world we know is full of wickedness, death, and deceit, and sadness. Let's read on. Matthew chapter 27, verse 6. And the chief priests took the 30 silver pieces and said, it is not lawful for to put them into the treasury because it is the price of blood. So they said, hey, we can't do this. It's against the commandments to do this, which is kind of crazy, kind of weird in itself. All right, yeah, we ain't gonna keep the laws, but we breaking the laws. Like we are condemning an innocent man to death, and we are with it. We are going all the way in, gung ho to take down God. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm saying God because this is a man that acted like God, that carried himself like God. We're gonna take his life from him, but we're gonna make sure we keep the commandments given to us by God. It's all backwards and all confusion. It's a whole bunch of just dudes that don't know what's going on, but whatever. Let's continue on. Verse 7, and they took counsel and bought with them the potter's field to bury strangers in it. So then they said, here, they bought a field and they said, here, people that we don't know, we're just going to put them in here. Here, we'll just use this money for that. All right, verse 8, wherefore that field was called the field of blood unto this day. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophet, saying, and they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him that was valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value. So he says the money for him, for the Messiah, that's what they used. All right, verse 10, and gave them for the potter's field as the Lord appointed me. And Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, art thou the king of the Jews? And Jesus said unto him, thou sayest. So he said, are you the ruler of these people? Are you the king of the Jews? He said, well, you say so. Yep, whatever. Verse 12, and when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. So then he didn't talk to them. So he gave Pilate an answer. He said that his own people, he's like, man, ain't no point even talking to y'all. Man, I already know what y'all want. Why am I talking? What's the point? You know what I'm saying? He left it on. He didn't say nothing to him. He didn't even dignify them with a response. Verse 13. And then Pilate said unto him, hearest thou not how many things they witness against thee? And he answered him to never a word, insomuch that the governor marveled greatly. So then he turned around and didn't say nothing to Pilate. He didn't say nothing to, Esau either. It's like, yeah, whatever, so he just sat there. Verse 15. Now at that feast, the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner whom they would. So then he would allow them to take somebody who they wanted to get out of jail during the time of the Passover feast. All right. Now at verse 16, and they had then a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, whom will ye that I release unto you, Barabbas or Jesus, which is called Christ? So he said, yeah, Jesus, Barabbas, or Jesus, the anointed one, the chosen one, the one is called the chosen one. Do you want to let him out of jail, this chosen guy? Verse 18, for he knew that for envy they had delivered him. Now I want you to understand this. Even the governor, the heathen governor, knew that they was jealous of him. They knew that they didn't like him because he was better than them. And there's like, he understood it. So he was just like, here, well, what y'all going to do? Y'all going to let him go? Because I don't see no fault in this guy. Verse 19, and when he was sat down on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, have thou nothing to do with that just man? For I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. But the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Jesus. Verse 21, the governor answered and said unto them, whether of the twain will ye that I release unto you? They said, Barabbas. Now, understand this. His wife came to him and asked him. So, in the middle of his judgment, in the middle of his decision he ready to make, his wife came up to him, or she could have been sitting there, whatever it was. And then she, gave words. She gave her opinion. It's like, hey, you need to let it go. Now, I want you to think about how serious this got to be. Because, remember, this guy, Pilate is the governor. He's ruling this place. And his woman comes up to him and starts speaking her mind. I want you to understand, more than likely, although we know how the heathen get down, more than likely still, the heathen still know that the woman's supposed to know her place. She stepped way outside her place. She stepped outside of her comfort zone. She did something that wasn't supposed to happen. And she came up speaking to the governor while he was ready to make a judgment. She came up there like, hey, don't man, leave this dude alone. I want you to know how terrified she had to be of the Messiah. She said there's a whole lot she was having dreams because of him. Think about it. The Lord was tormenting her, and she was just the wife of the governor. Just understand this is what was taking place. So this is how powerful the Messiah is. This is how scary it was to even deal with him in a manner. You got to be careful when, being in dealings with the chosen ones. If you're dealing with the chosen ones, especially the chosen one, hey, it's a whole lot at stake. And you don't even have an idea how much at stake it is. Verse 22. Then saith they Pilate saith unto them, what shall I do then with Jesus, which is called Christ? So they said, all right, y'all want to release Barabbas. Okay, what do we do with this guy? All right, do I leave him in jail, let him rot? What am I going to do with him? Let's read on. They all said unto him, let him be crucified. So after he said, what are we going to do with Jesus, the Messiah? He said to him, they said straight up, hey, I'm crucifying. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull up the definition of crucify. I want to go ahead and put this on the board. I'm gonna Google this for everybody because I want y'all to get a visual, a definition. I want to see it defined, and I'm gonna see if I can get some visuals as well. Now they're gonna show y'all some pictures though. Why Jesus? But I'm gonna go ahead and do it. All right, AI overview. Crucifixion is an ancient, brutal form of capital punishment, notably used by Romans for a slow, agonizing execution via suspension on a wooden beam. Listen, it says not only was it going to be an execution, but they said it was going to suspend him, meaning you're going to hang him in the air on a wooden beam. And he said, this is an agonizing. Look, it's not just a quick, it ain't lethal injection where it's like, a humane way to send somebody out. Nah, it says a slow, agonizing execution. All right, let's read on. All right, and it says causes of death included suffocation, dehydration, and hypovolemic shock. Now, I don't know what hypovolemic shock is. So I'm about to look that up because, I was a C student in high school. So I'm going to go ahead and go through this. You know what I'm saying? He says hypovolemic shock. And it says with techniques involving nailing or binding victims, often breaking legs to hasten death. It is central to the Christianity as the death of Jesus Christ. Now, hold on. That says they would even break legs to hasten death. So think about how slow people were dying if they even the whole point of them was to actually cause somebody to suffer in death. And the people got tired of watching you suffer. They got tired of waiting for you to die. So it was agonizing to wait for somebody to die. Now, of course, I ain't saying agonizing like they had empathy, but they got bored. They got tired of watching them suffer. So imagine being the one suffering all this time. They probably was like, please break my legs. Do something with this. I am sick of being up here. But I'm going to read this hypovolemic shock because I've never heard of that. All right. Hypovolemic shock is a life-threatening emergency condition caused by losing 15% or more of the body's blood or body fluid, and from trauma, severe dehydration, or burns. It prevents the heart from pumping enough blood to organs, leading to rapid heart rate, low blood pressure, and potential organ failure. So now think about what it said. When you put somebody on their cross, dehydration. It says severe dehydration. Now, we're going to kind of touch on that because there's some things that cause dehydration, and we're going to get into that. Well, I'm going to, but I want to go ahead and let y'all see what actually it entails to be crucified. If you gain an understanding of what a crucifixion looks like, put a 1 in the chat. Matter of fact, I actually meant to put, see if I can put, I want to actually see if I can get a picture. I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all see a picture of crucifixions for anybody that may not know. Crucifixion. I'm sorry. See, they got all these, man, they saying all these pictures, these Edomites, man. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get in it. All right, there y'all go. Crucifixion. So this is what this looks like. Oh, nope. Sorry. That ain't what I want. All right. So scrolling down, crucifixions. I need something to blow up so y'all can, like I said, I'm trying to get y'all the best visual view. But this is what it looks like. Somebody's hanging and they suffering. And all of them is supposed to be, kind of mad that they got Jesus looking all, y'all know, I'm not going to say the word because, but y'all get what I'm saying. They got him hanging. There you go. Look, you can see like, this guy up here is emaciated. You know what I'm saying? His skin's cleaving to his bones. It's just looking really bad. So, all right, that's the crucifixion. I just want to give y'all an overview, give y'all quick a definition of it, and then get y'all see what it looked like. So this is what they said. Hey, we don't want him to sit in jail. We want to crucify him. We want to torture the Messiah. All right. So hopefully I got to understand that. Matthew chapter 27, verse 23. And the governor said, why? What evil hath he done? See, you know, I asked why, what has he done? Because it's like, you want me to give him this severe capital punishment, which is an extreme amount of pain and torture. Y'all want me to do this to him? This guy that's done nothing. You want me to do what I just now explained to y'all to him? That's what he's deserving of. What has he done that's deserving of it? Let's read on. But they cried out the more, saying, let him be crucified. So Pilate said, why should he be crucified? And they said, crucify him. Their answer was that. That's like asking me, hey, what if I'm saying this somewhere and I'm asking somebody, hey, what you want to do with the guy walking across the street? Oh, shoot him in the head. What? Okay, why do you want to do this? What has he done? Shoot him in the head. Hold on, wait. You didn't even tell me why he should be shot in the head. You just saying your answer is shoot him in the head. So why should I shoot him in the head? I want y'all to just digest how crazy that is, how absolutely nuts and unreasonable these niggas were. I'm sorry I had to say that, but it just really shows the level of the lack of understanding, lack of intelligence, lack of reasoning ability that these people had. All right, verse 24. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing. Man, hey, look at this. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to keep stopping in the middle of these scriptures. It says when Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing. You know what that is? That's like talking to somebody that you know is a complete dumbass. It's like having a conversation with somebody that you now understand you can't reason with. There's no intelligence. There's no understanding. There's no comprehension going on in their brain. They are locked in on what they want and what they believe, and you can't convince them. You can't say nothing different. They are not even, their lights are on, but nobody's home. Y'all understand what I'm saying? If you get what I'm saying, put a 7 in the chat. If you are confused and you really don't understand what I'm trying to explain, the message I'm trying to convey, then tell me you're confused, tell me you don't understand, and ask your question so I can answer it. Because I want this to be clear how crazy this is. All right? Verse 24 again, Matthew 27:24. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See ye to it. He said, man, I ain't got nothing to do with shit. Yeah, man, y'all, whatever. Y'all got it. That's what it is. You know, people say, you know what? I'm straight. All right, you got it. That's what Pilate said. You got it. I ain't even in this no more. Ain't no point. I have nothing to do with this. I ain't even in this because I don't even want to sign off my name on it. Although his name was signed off on it, he didn't want to be a part of it. All right, verse 25. He answered all the people and said, his blood be on us. Let me read that again. Verse 25. Then answered all the people and said, so this is the people responding to Pilate. His blood be on us and on our children. Then they said, hey, you know what? Hey, don't worry about it, Pilate. We'll take it. You know what I'm saying? All the responsibility of that innocent blood, let it be on me and my people and all of your people. All right, let's read on verse 26. Then released he Barabbas unto them. And when he had scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified. So when they scourged him, meaning they beat him. They beat him with whips. They was hitting him open hand, closed hand, all kind of stuff. They was beating him with sticks. They had multiple, torture instruments to hit him with. It was terrible. Verse 27. Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the common hall and gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers. And they stripped him and put on him a scarlet robe. And where they had platted a crown of thorns, they put it upon his head and a reed in his right hand. And they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews. Now, look at this. Now, they after they did this, now this is the soldiers now. Now the soldiers in on it. Now they having a fun time. They getting to make fun of our king. You know what I'm saying? The heathen are making that. A dog should not move his tongue against the children of Israel. And they moving it all around the world. They talking crazy. And they bow before him. They mocking him. And I'm going to go ahead and tell a story real quick. Before I get into it, I want to go ahead and put, sir,
Exactamundo, dude.
They sure as hell could have. They could have left us out of it. Why they going to say, let his blood be on us and our children? So now his blood's on us. We got the blood of Jesus on us. But I do want the blood of Christ on us. Not the death of the innocent man, but on his blood as far as the lamb's blood to cover me so I can be protected when that death angel comes by, when the Lord comes by to smite the earth with a curse. Whenever he's going to rid the earth of all the evil, hey, I hope the blood of the Messiah covers me. That's the blood I want to be with. But as far as his blood be on us, like that innocent man being killed, blame it on us. Now, you miss me with that. Y'all, hey, I hope the Lord don't hear that. hear your vow. Yeah, I don't want him to hear your vow in that sense. Now, if the vow is meant for us to be covered in the blood, to be protected, then cool. But other than that, his blood be on us and our children. Nah, y'all got it. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I don't want no part in killing an innocent man, a just man, a good man, the greatest man on the planet. Matter of fact, the Son of God. Man, why would I want to be a part of that? Unless something wrong with me. So yeah. And I look at the Curry said crucifying Christ is like killing a random person in GTA. But then again, can't you say that? It's worse than that. Because a random person in GTA, at least you might not know, they might be all right. I mean, they might be crazy. But nah, they took out a whole other type of person. They took out somebody that was known to be a good person, known to be loving and caring. You know what I'm saying? You killed the guy that's walking around healing people. You killed the guy that's walking around like giving people food. Like, man, that is absolutely crazy to be like that. Let's read on though. Matthew chapter 27, verse 29. I'm sorry, verse 30. And they spit upon him and took the reed and smote him on the head. And after that, they had mocked him. They took the robe off from him and put his own raiment on him and led him away to crucify him. Oh, y'all forgot. I know what I was going to say. I was going to tell the story about, here's how we know too, that they wasn't even sincere in trying to like say he's king. They was making fun of him. It was so bad that when the first time, and I'm just go ahead, story time real quick. I know, man. I thought we lost sound for a second. Back when I was in the world, before we came into the truth, me and Sarah, Katrina, we was down at the Holy Land Experience in Orlando, Florida. And we went down there and they had a play of Jesus. They had John the Baptist, who it's crazy. John the Baptist happened to be black. That had the same guy that played Jesus was the white Jesus walking around the whole facility all the time. He walking around and had people following him like disciples and followers, and this was white Jesus. It was walking around people. It was crazy. I'm sorry. All right, I ain't supposed to laugh at this, but yeah, I'm glad I didn't join on that, man. If I'd have been walking around following white Jesus, I'd be like, oh, Jesus, I'd have been. Now, although I was in other ways back then, of course, but what I'm saying is, I'm glad I ain't got that memory. But anyways, he walking around. So either way, this same guy that's playing Jesus, they after they decide they're going to crucify him, then of course, they put the same thing we just read in the scriptures. They put the crown of thorns on him, put the robe on him. Now, when they put that on him, that's when, Katrina, she's about to be 5 years old. She's looking at it and she just bust out crying. I mean, just bawling. And they just, they beating him. He's suffering, he's in pain. And then while we there, and then towards the end, she said, I don't want him to be king. I don't want him to be king. Because she related him being king to him getting beaten and tortured and killed. So she's like, no, I don't want him to be king, because if he's king, they're going to be mean to him. And this is what she was saying. I don't want him to be king. I mean, she was like, it wasn't no like little crying. She was crying for real. Like, she was hurt that they actually killed Jesus. So what I'm saying is, this is what they were trying to convey. They're trying to convey that they were making fun of him. So them making fun of him caused, even, like it says, my young child looking at it like, I don't want him to be that. Them mocking him, they were making fun of him being king, even though as king, you're supposed to get reverence and respect. But being king, being that type of king caused what? Caused people to actually want his head on a plate, just like his cousin, John the Baptist. You know what I'm saying? Let's read on though. Matthew chapter 27, verse, and the Curry said, did they put white clothing on? Yes, they did. Yeah, they did. Matthew chapter 27, verse 31. Verse 32. And as they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. Him they compelled to bear his cross. So they made a man named Simon carry his cross. All right. Verse 33. And when they were come unto a place called Golgotha, that is to say, a place of the skull, they gave him vinegar to drink, mingled with gall. And when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. So they gave him something, vinegar and gall is more like almost like poison, sometimes like piss water. Matter of fact, it's crazy because we just now looked up something. We just found out that the Romans use pea water as mouthwash. The Romans use piss water as mouthwash. So they was like, here, let's give him vinegar and gall and have Jesus drink that. Now, one of the things you suffer from when we read in the all the ways people die on the crucifixion on the cross was severe dehydration. Well, I bet if they was trying to give people vinegar and piss, I bet I'd have been dehydrated too. I'm like, hell, I ain't drinking that. Get that out of my face. I probably would have kicked them, spit on. I don't know. I'll try to do something to make them kill me quicker. I won't hang up her all day. But what I'm saying is, this is what they was giving him. And it said he would not drink it. Verse 35. And they crucified him and parted his garments, casting lots that it might be fulfilled, which is by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots. So his clothing, they paid for it. They was, there they go. They was casting lots. They was bidding on his clothing. They took it from him. And then, of course, they crucified him. They pierced his hands and his feet. They drove nails through his hands and drove nails through his feet. Verse 36, and sitting down, they watched him there and set up over his head his accusation written, this is the Jesus, King of the Jews. So now it says accusation written. So it wasn't even like they was truly accepting him as the King of the Jews. They were not actually acknowledging him as that, as the ruler, as a great man. No, they were still mocking him. They was also saying, this is why he died. He said he's the King of the Jews. The accusation written. We killing him because he's calling himself the Son of God and he's calling himself a king. And they like, nah, he's not our king, which you're going to see in another gospel series later. Verse 38, then were there two thieves crucified with him, one on the right hand and the other on the left. And they that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads and saying, thou that destroyest the temple and buildest it in 3 days, save thyself. If thou be the Son of God, come down from the cross. So he says, and saying, the people that came out, and this is the people that was regular people, probably some of the same people in the crowd. They probably healed. He probably made, they were blind. He could see, they could walk all of a sudden because of him. He cast demons out of them. They probably was it was probably 10 of them dudes. There was one out of 5,000 that got fed when they was out there hungry after he taught the word. See, this is the same type of ungrateful spirit that more than likely was taking place within our nation, within our people. They ain't making fun of him. Oh, if you're the Son of God, why don't you come down from the cross? Why don't you float down with your magic? That's what they was kind of basically saying to him. Verse 41, likewise also the chief priests mocking him with the scribes and elders said, he saved others, himself he cannot save. If he be the King of Israel, let him now come down from the cross and we will believe him. Hey, I'm sorry. Look at this right here. If he's a king of them, why don't he come down? Why don't he float down right now? And I don't know if y'all know this, but there are scriptures talking about Negroes that think like this. If he's a king, why don't he do this? We'll believe then. We don't believe now, but we'll believe if he actually does this. Y'all know what that sounds like? Let's go to Matthew chapter 12 really fast, and I'm going to come right back. Matthew chapter 12, verse 20. No, not that one. I'm sorry. Y'all know what I'm looking for. 39. Matthew chapter 12, verse 39. But he answered and said unto them, an evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall be no sign given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. You know what he's saying? See, evil people, wicked people, people that's in the midst of all type of idolatry and sin and just buffoonery. Those are the people that's got to have a sign. Listen, I want to read this one more time. Matthew chapter 27, verse 42. He saved others, himself he cannot save. If he be the King of Israel, let him now come down from the cross and we will believe him. See, we don't believe because he ain't done no miraculous miracles. He hasn't, he done no David Copperfield type stuff. He ain't shining lights, and causing everybody to just, miraculously see other things. He ain't doing none of those things. So since he ain't did no miracles, we don't believe he's a king of Israel. He ain't my king, because if he was my king, he would free us out of captivity. They just talking like this. It's all type of things they probably saying. Verse 43, he trusted in God. Let him deliver him now, if he will have him, for he said, I am the Son of God. Now listen, I want y'all to hear the scoffing from this. I ain't really thought about it, but these niggas they pissing me off. Like he trusted in God. Let him deliver him now. Oh, well, let God save him now. I thought you niggas are the motherfucking Pharisees. I thought y'all the teachers I thought y'all sit in Moses' seat. So y'all talking about he trusting in God and making fun of it. Y'all are mocking, y'all scorning him for trusting in God. And then you're going to turn around and say, let him save you now. If God is real, let him save you. So, and this is proof that wicked people don't believe in God. They don't really trust in the Most High. They don't think he exists. They don't think he's real. So they'll carry themselves and pretend like they act like he is, but they know good and damn well they don't believe it. If God is real, he should do this. It's what they saying. if you understand what I'm saying, if you seeing this, and maybe I'm crazy, if you don't think I'm crazy, put a 2 in the chat if you see this. If you actually are like, if you are like, nah, you tripping, I think you pulling up out of a hat. It's coming out of nowhere. You put it out your nappy head, then hey, you are free to put a 6 in the chat and say I'm tripping. But what I see is these Negroes not believing. They saying stuff that just sounds good to them. Verse 44, the thieves also, which were crucified with him, cast the same in his teeth. Now from the 6th hour, there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Some of them that stood there, when they heard that, said, this man calleth for Elias. And straightway one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him to drink. And the rest said, let us see whether Elias will come to save him. Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom. And the earth did quake and the rocks rent. So now he passed away. He says he gave up the ghost. He was no longer with us. And it says the veil was rent, the temple, the veil of the temple torn, which is symbolic, which I ain't gonna get into it right now. I'll go ahead and just let you know. The veil of the temple, that temple rent, that's where the separation from where the priesthood was to the rest of the people. Now the high priest is going to be in place, which is going to be the Messiah. And it says the earth did quake. All right, verse 52. And the graves were open, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose and came out of the graves after his resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared unto many. Now he's talking about the graves. The people came out of the graves. Many of the saints which slept arose. People had died. People were spiritually dead, and people actually resurrected and came back to life. They actually now believed in the Lord. They believed in the Messiah. That's what he's talking about. They were able to appear. They actually to show up. They were actually holy. And they're actually, actually a strong possibility as well. I ain't gonna say possibility, which I'm still looking into because I've been looking into it. But when he's talking about the great, they appeared unto the people. There could have been saints that passed, and then they could have the ones that, and I say saints, fellow Israelites, fellow, righteous men and women that came and people saw them. And they go spoke to them. The graves were open, but they don't like their actual physical bodies walking out of graves and all. But people that seen this happen, that were around and saw the Messiah suffer this for his people, they awoke. They came into the truth. And I say came into the truth, they came to the Lord. They started keeping the commandments. They followed the word. They believed. They no longer were dead in their sins. Verse 54. Now when the centurion and they that which were with him watching Jesus saw the earthquake and those things that were done, they feared greatly, saying, truly, this was the Son of God. So now even the soldiers that was there mocking him and doing all that, they started believing. Verse 55. And many women were there beholding afar off, which followed Jesus from Galilee, ministering unto him, among which was Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of James and Joseph and the mother of Zebedee's children. When the even was come, there came a rich man of Arimathea named Joseph, who also himself was Jesus' disciple. He went to Pilate and begged the body of Jesus. Then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered. And when Jesus had taken the body, he clothed it when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a linen cloth and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had hewn out in the rock. And he rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulchre and departed. So he said he had cut his own little area for somebody to be when they pass away. Says he cut it out the rock himself. So Joseph Arimathea must have been a pretty big, strong dude too. Stone cutters wasn't weak. They weren't little. They had to be some powerful brothers. Them brothers hit the weights. All right. Verse 61. And there was Mary Magdalene and the other Mary sitting over against the sepulchre. Now the next day that followed the day of the preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees came together unto Pilate, saying, Sir, we remember that deceiver said, while he was yet alive, after 3 days I will rise again. So they was calling Christ the deceiver. They was calling him the devil. They was calling him evil. They saying this wicked man said he's going to rise in 3 days. And it says the next day is going to be the preparation, because they were there. The preparation was there. And then also we knew the next day was going to be the Sabbath. Verse 64. Command therefore that the sepulchre be made sure until the 3rd day, lest his disciples come by night and steal him away and say unto the people, he is risen from the dead. So the last error shall be worse than the first. So they said, hey, to make sure that these believers in Jesus, the one because Jesus said he's gonna die and rise up and come back to life in 3 days, and they're gonna believe it if he's gone if his body is gone. So you know what? Let's put some soldiers there to make sure it don't happen. It says to make sure the temple, mean to seal it, to prevent anybody from getting over there. Not temple, but the sepulcher, where his grave is, where his body is. Have people guard and protect it. If anybody comes over there, it's their life. All right. And he says, command therefore that the sepulcher be made sure to the 3rd day. All right. Verse 65. Pilate said unto them, ye have a watch. Go your way. Make it as sure as you can. All right. Go ahead. Do what you got to do. That's what Pilate said. Verse 66. So they went and made the sepulcher sure, sealing the stone and setting a watch. Hey, and it said sealing the stone. So they probably got some type of super glue back then. I don't know. They had said they made it sure. So they sealed the coverings, all of that stuff. So where the stone was rolled, where nobody be able to open it. I never really paid attention to that. I always noticed they had a, big heavy stone rolled in front of it. But it says they made sure the stone. So you make sure you sealing it. You preventing it from being, so nobody's going to be able to just come and just open it and move that rock out of there. So that was also going to be something else. So I want y'all to see these are the things that was taking place. So even adding to the miracle that was going to happen soon, which we're going to read about in Matthew chapter 28. But this is Matthew chapter 27. I pray y'all gained some understanding. Pray y'all were edified in this lesson. Let's continue to grow in the word, continue to grow in this walk. And again, love y'all, Israel. Enjoy the rest of y'all's evening, or the rest of y'all's day. Grace and peace be unto the 12. Shalom.